Welcome. I am so delighted to announce the launch of my creative sequencing course, which I sometimes call creative, inclusive, and intentional sequencing, because it is all of those things. And there's a lot of groundwork to my strategy for sequencing so that we can be as inclusive as possible. So understanding what goes into each pose rather than the pose as a whole, and then understanding classes as a series of phrases. So there's a whole framework to how we sequence, and that groundwork will be really laid out here for you, this whole strategy, both in documents and in talks. We'll also be weaving in some themes to the classes and some philosophy, and we'll be looking at what are we doing in the broader picture of yoga within the sequencing, so how we can tie in with the 8 limbs, etc. You'll see that we also look at the nervous system, and we also have a think about different types of sequences, so the kind of strategies that we can use for sequences, how we include actual teaching of the poses rather than just diving through one pose and then into the next. And we'll also look at both planning towards a peak of any class, but also how we can just work in a more general creative way in class. We don't always need to be aiming for some peak pose. Then we will go into lots of creative playtime. So here's lots of videos to get you moving in new ways, as well as some documents to get you thinking about how to be really playful in your teaching. And then there'll be some science of movement. So are there particular movements that are missing that we might want to add in, and how we can do that? There'll be a few example classes, a few more of these to come before the launch date, which is in January. And then there's also ongoing mentoring and connection through the course. I would love to see you there. I have already shared this course many times in person, and the feedback is always that the students are loving their teachers' classes after the course, and that sequencing becomes really easy and something to look forward to, really joyful. See you there.